Good evening and welcome to Hang Out in the Crib with the Battle Pirates Crib Crew. I'm the BP Professor, and tonight we have Holsh.
Hola.
And Grimace.
What's up, y'all?
And Hefe.
Howdy, everybody.
And we're going to talk about Bounty, and we're going to talk about some campaigns and some new stuff that's been released. So yeah, and I'm continuing the Day Drinker with the Day Blazer. So
yeah, it's really an exciting new market in the beer industry. You know, promoting day drinking. I think
I was gonna say it's not a new market.
Well, it's been a while since they've really promoted it. You know, that they've promoted that as a niche in the niche or in the beer aisle. It'd be nice if they had a little, little shelf sign that explained that this is for day drinking and this is for night drinking. You know, it'd be all good. Yeah.
All right. Well, on that marketing idea, I will share my screen and we'll get started with the slides.
Okay.
Hefe, you really missed your calling, man.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk bug fixes. Let's see. Combat was crashing on live. What?
I have no idea. This is the way it was written on live. So I'm assuming they're not understanding that there's maybe it's the live servers versus their test servers. I don't know. I copied and pasted it as the way they had it. So
okay.
Unless they fixed it later. In one of them I fixed a typo, but otherwise it's unchanged.
All right. Next one, fixed an issue where a weapon had no build time associated with that. Those who watched the show last week know more specifics on that one because some of us got our Hydras refit with D117s right quick.
Mm-hmm. And there was an issue. Yeah, they fixed it the next day, right around somewhere around 2 to 3 o'clock Eastern time. And my buddy Slash was in the middle of doing it, and it showed him he had one coin to coin it, and they charged him 319.
Oh!
And he filed his first ticket and was just sort of like, it showed me one, and then it charged me this. And they were like, no, we don't have any issues. And I'm like, no, right at that point, this is be detailed on when it happened, and then the next day he got 319 coins. So all good.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Fixed where countermeasure loader and warhead reloader were not stacking properly. Okay. This one's kind of interesting. The when they weren't showing the projectiles when you're low frames per second. I think people were complaining about that.
So they said that's fixed, but I was doing one of the new TLCs, whatever the new one is for the Fangs today, and I noticed that my Fangs a lot of times they would shoot like one torpedo out. It wasn't like a group of torpedoes like it normally is. So I'm not real sure that's fixed.
Okay. Huh. Okay. Reduced build time on the Hope by 2 days. So now it's what is that? 5 days and a fraction. 5 days, 6 hours. Instead of 7 days, 6 hours.
Yeah,
still a long build. We need some defender tokens.
Yep. And then corrected a problem with duplicate aura caps not working properly for TAC mods in the base.
I don't know what that was. I was hoping what that meant, but then I checked my base, And that wasn't the case. I was hoping that they were going to actually correct the fact that it shows as additive for like the fire support, and it still shows as additive. In reality, it's multiplicative.
I heard there was something about some way you could set up to get a lot more damage, and I don't know if this was related to that or not. I don't know the details on it, actually.
Yeah, there was also another issue where people were saying that Fire Support 2 had an aura cap of 5 and Fire Support 1 had an aura cap of 5, and they weren't combined, so you could end up with 10 Fire Supports if properly
maybe
properly
that was
configured. So that was the other potential issue.
Okay. And then Hefe, you found this one that was not fixed.
Well, it was actually created, so maybe this will be a bug fix next week. After the update, I took a look at my Inferno Dragons, and I had one ship that didn't have lowered explosive amount, and I think it had a range of 105, and all of them had lowered explosive amount on them, had a range of 156, even though it's supposed to remove 5% explosive range. It increased it by 66%. So I'm not, I'm just ahead of the curve. This probably is going to be on next week's bug fixes. So
yeah,
it's a preview. It's a preview of bug fixes for next week.
Bugs that are pre-fix are just called bugs.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
But I'm previewing.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I'm giving people a little sneak peek in the next week's.
Okay. So like new bug. Maybe we need a new slide for new bugs.
Yeah, yeah, we can get another. Well, because there's another one coming up. I went with Mr. Magoo instead of the bug fixes on that one.
Yeah.
But there's other ones I could have listed that were born today.
Neat.
Yeah.
All right. What's going on with PvP? So what Rampage have to say? The authority on PvP. So I think what we've seen is some brutal hulls, and then some brutal turrets, and then some that neutralize those brutal hulls, and then some armor that neutralizes those brutal turrets, and then essentially you're seeing ships that either roll over them or just can't get into a base. So they think the swing is gonna reduce. We'll see.
Yeah, because they've been telling us that this tier 7 transition was going to get rid of the swings, but I guess there were two, eventually I guess was dropped from that statement. But it's you missed the Friday show, and I was Magic Mike's probably in the chat. I know you don't watch the show when you're not on, Larry, but I asked which swings more. The power between PvP bases and attackers, and generally the community think it was Magic Mike, even with the amount of swinging that's going on currently with base attacking. So.
Okay.
See, yeah, there he is. Yeah, he agrees. He's signed up.
Okay. So anyway, let's see what else is going on. Defender class for tier 7 designed differently. We'll see that in the first one we've seen. And this is interesting because they say defender hulls will be geared towards providing additional layers of survivability versus dealing damage directly to attacking fleets. And this is certainly something that makes sense because the amount of damage a projectile would have to do to damage these hulls with humongous deflection numbers would obviously be humongous and ridiculous. So,
but my question is, I guess it only makes sense depending on how we're supposed to be killing, how they want us to kill attacking ships. because right now, even our turrets, unless you were exploiting, the aura issue that was supposedly going on while, the last few days or whatever, they're not really even doing enough damage to a properly armored fleet. So what's supposed to be doing damage to them?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is balance mean a minimum damage game? And it'd be nice if they explained what the end point of when the swings are down, what is their end point? At what point do they want us to feel that things are balanced? Is it the minimum damage game where you just high salvo and just pepper them to death? I mean, that's what we're seeing from these statements, and also, how quickly they and how quickly and how effectively they are reducing the power of one side versus the other. I mean, it's now they're doing nothing but the 360 pass through, and it's
so what's the point of that? why have all the deflections and all these special turrets and stuff when none of that really applies?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for them. Yeah, I don't understand it. I mean, it'd be nice if they gave, they had on their live rampage on Friday. It would be nice if they sort of maybe had a guest that explained what the end point of PvP is, because I think a lot of players are confused, or they figured it out, and a lot of people aren't probably terribly happy with the idea of a minimum damage game. But who knows?
I mean, it's kind of, it is it's another strategy. It's another way of doing things, I guess. But frankly, it's a little boring.
Yeah.
I know you don't want the Howie 6 that was taking huge chunks out of ships either. Like, you can't have that either, but it just, to sit there and watch them taking all these little bitty hits all the way around your base and trying to slow them down, it's, I don't know. It's boring.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's, I mean, I guess it's I don't know. I guess it's somewhat interesting as far as trying to figure it out, but the expectation is that it would be something different besides the minimum damage, and then, bring out the baseball bat for 2 days and then minimum damage. It's like like an explanation of what the path forward is and what we should expect. So
yeah, I mean, why build a tier 7 hull with these huge deflections when you could have just had small deflections and then just left the axioms and crap that we were already using, and instead of giving us these really high powered turrets and stuff that are almost immediately nerfed down to their 360 passer. It's just, I don't get it. And maybe they're probably smarter than I am on game design, so
maybe.
Hopefully they surprise me.
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe this third paragraph is a little bit of a clue, right? So new tier 7 turrets initially released. Some will pack a big punch. Others start with lower impact. And then you can group the damage types to get more strength. I think what you're going to see is more damage types. So eventually you're just not going to be able to load up. Right now the only big time damage turrets we've seen are penetrative and ballistic. As that rolls out to more damage types,
penetrative and
potential.
Penetrative.
I'm thinking of the Executioner 2 and the Howie 6.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm thinking the ships. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So we'll probably get like radioactive and corrosive and
right. So I think what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to load up a ship to defend against all the potential damage types, and so, are you going to be vulnerable to the turret that some base is counting on? Are you going to try to balance your defenses, or are you going to try to load up against certain damage types and just avoid bases that do that kind of damage.
But I mean, with them giving us like two, well, now we're gonna have 4 of the penetrative turrets, but I was thinking like 2 of each kind or whatever. Then you're still at some point always going to be vulnerable to multiple turrets, and if they're doing that much damage that they're doing, then you're probably going to be taking huge hits again to whatever you're vulnerable to.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to eventually favor the defender. I don't know.
It's just,
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, and it will be interesting to see the 5 armor slots. You can start mixing weapons in order to create something that potentially could lead to minimum damage. That's the other side of it, is the huge amount of deflection that are associated with the weapons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
all right. Okay, Forsaken mission. It's next week. Lost another 50,000 points from the 115. So, probably getting easier to find now.
well, I think they changed the spawning on them because they are easier to find, but I haven't hit one yet. I'm still waiting because I think in 2 days I'll have all my dragons done. So I haven't even started it yet, but yeah, just I put this all out there so everybody knows you're getting less points than the 115, and next week you're better off just hitting the 111s. But how's everybody's dragons doing, or their fucking dragons? That's, I think we said last week.
Yeah, I don't know. I got 4 dragons, and they're doing. It's like an hour 20 for a 117, and maybe 20 minutes for a 112. I don't know. I'm hearing about people doing better than me, so I don't know whether it's my build or my driving yet. I gotta pay more attention, maybe.
Okay. Anybody else? Pulse, Grimace?
Mine are still incomplete. I've been working on them. I have enough tokens to probably finish them, but I'm not in any rush currently. So
yeah, I'm kind of the same way.
You want to see if somebody cracks code?
Yeah, kind of.
Well, there have been people that crack the code with the Zealous and whatnot, and I'm afraid of that as well because of I don't have like 3,000 Gale 3s. Yeah, Gale 3s. Yeah, I don't have 3,000 of them that required. So yeah,
I've got a lot.
Because Rob did it for instant repair.
And that was with what, 3 monos, a Zealous, and an Inferno?
I think he did it with. I think I think it was 4 dragons and a Zealous, but I'm not certain. But yeah,
he's done it a few ways.
Hey, bro.
So yeah,
like I've got 3 pretty much completely built, and I'm running it with my dual Zelos setup, and was just doing the 115s this past week. And my 4th one will be finished here shortly, so I'll probably start doing the 117s with 1 Zelos, and I've got enough tokens to refit that Zelos. And then I built a 5th hull that I'll probably, if I have time, go ahead and fit out and see if 5 of them, how that works for me. Because I'm kind of like George. I'm going to be lazy.
I don't feel like it's the mortars that are doing it to me. I don't know why the huge emphasis on Gales. I feel like it's those missiles, but maybe I'm just not looking closely enough.
I mean, he only took 6 minutes per dragon, but and then there was no phalanx in that fleet either. But he, I think, is relying on the duality countermeasure, and then of course the sprints will take out missiles too.
Yeah.
But I think that surprised a few people that he wasn't running any phalanx in that fleet.
All righty.
Okay.
Let's move on, I guess.
Bounty.
Yep, bounty 8.
The quicker picker-upper.
I was thinking that, but then I'm thinking with all these, player bases that are a couple hundred points each, that essentially turns us into a PvE grind. Bounty is not a quick pickup.
Yeah. Well, it's 2 times more absorbent. That's at least what they say.
It's an all-weekend
sure
sucker is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the absorbent them, but yeah. Yeah, bounty 9 is going to be tricky, but I think I have the solution. So, stay tuned until next month.
Okay.
Well, because, you weren't there for bounty 7. Because bounty 7, it seems like they sell a 7-pound the bounty candy bar in Russia. So, yeah. Gets tricky with some of those odd numbers. So.
Okay. So let's look at some of these prizes. The hull is a defender hull this time.
Look at that range.
Yeah, so it's a tier 7 defender, and it's got lots of range bumps. It's got this penetrating and explosive range bump, if you want to go that way. Or it's got some tremendous plus 150% countermeasure and anti-range. So that's pretty intense. It also can remote target if you want to go that route. And big penetrative, big explosive deflections, although there's certainly no player weapon that's doing 500,000 points damage. So,
yet.
Yeah, wait till next week.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the weird thing, you win 2 of them in the bounty, and I assume one of them is supposed to. There's a new countermeasure weapon, which I'll have more questions about once we get to it. But it only has. It's got a remote targeting range of 140% for missile and mortar.
Was that missile and mortar? Oh my God, that's sweet.
Yeah, but it's only has 6 weapon slots.
Right. New weapon?
So there's no new weapon. So maybe there's going to be a new weapon. That was my question that I was going to pose. Is like, it's not going to do any damage because of the lack of weapon slots. It can do a fair amount of minimum damage. I could only think of 2 uses for them. One is an anti-ship, which our last defender, I think, was the Omni Behemoth. The Hope was before that, which is an anti-ship. The only thing I could think to do with this is the Disruptor missile.
Yeah, and it's got this missile random launch override, right? And you can put 5 negative deflection auras. So, I mean, maybe if you get enough of these override missiles coming out, you can nerf attacker's deflection to let your it's not Howie's missiles do some damage. I don't know.
You could do explosive damage from the Hope with the rockets.
Yeah, but not if they have 500,000 deflection, or even 6. Well, I guess if they have 64k deflection, then you can get it down to nothing.
I was kind of eyeing the combat speed reduction myself.
Yeah, 5 of those would be pretty nice. So maybe you put torrents on these and try and get as many missiles out as you can.
I don't know that torrents do the minimum damage to get to 360. I mean, that's why I was saying the Disruptor missile, because it also is slowing the ship down every time it hits.
Yeah.
And it has a reload of plus 50. It's got that remote targeting range of plus 140. But it's sort of, it sort of seems like the first one you should build should be an anti one, because we'll show the anti that's coming out soon.
Yeah.
And again, we have questions about that. But I would sort of wait to equip the second one, thinking that we're going to get some sort of weapon that makes sense with this. Besides a really old missile that was around before the blade, and it's a couple years old.
Yeah, but you're wanting to keep that number low for pass through, right? What was the missile?
I don't know what that means.
What was the missile that
explain
came
it?
out? The missile that came out in the arena a long time ago. Was there one?
Oh, the
none of
buzzard.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I have that.
Was it the buzzard or the blizzard? I don't remember.
Buzzard.
Yeah, it was the buzzard. He's correct. Yeah.
Or the vulture.
But the vulture doesn't. The vulture is a turret missile.
That's a non-existent turret missile. Or no, existent.
No, it now exists. It was the hyena. It just, they teased it for a long time, but the vulture does exist. It's like gold looking, and it's a weird look. It doesn't fit with the rest of them. But yeah, the vulture missile was, I think, the first time that we had. Was it the first time that we had criticals associated with a turret?
Maybe.
I believe so.
Yeah. Once you get below 50%. Some percent would be, but whatever.
Yeah. The other thing is, hopefully you did actually get some of those defender tokens from the VXP targets, because this has a 0 movement, so it will not work too well trying to get XP for this.
Yeah. Well, everybody has a ton of the tokens if they watch the show from killing the 100s.
Hopefully,
because you only need 5 of those tokens to skull this.
Oh, is that true? Is it only 50? It's tier 7. They might up the XP.
Maybe they have. I don't know. Nobody owns it yet, so I'm not wrong until somebody owns one.
Okay.
But historically, it's only 50K.
Right. All right, let's keep moving. Reload special. So if you're using countermeasures or you're playing the minimum damage game, this is going to be really useful.
Yeah, these two do not stack. The comparison between Countermeasure Loaders 4 and CMXM Reloader. These two do not stack together. Because you notice the CMXM Reloader does not increase your accuracy, just your reloads. You can stack it with frontline countermeasures. In order to get some accuracy bonuses.
What I find really interesting is it's a really heavy weight increase, right? So essentially, if you're using this to get DPS, you're actually breaking even in terms of DPS per ton. And if it's a weapon that's got more than one salvo, you're actually coming out negative in terms of DPS per ton by using the special.
Yeah, it is sort of an odd and specialized special. Well, I guess specialized special doesn't make sense, but yeah, it is odd because CMXM Reloader does stack with like Siege Reloader, but it doesn't stack with Countermeasures Loader, and it does stack with Frontline Countermeasures. It's I need to see how some of this stuff works, and we put this before the actual countermeasure, which I have more questions about as far as the way that works. That's not in the blueprint, but I guess before Friday or some point we could do the math. Looking at it, you would assume that the countermeasure, anti-missile, all these reloads, just looking at the numbers, we don't need to do any live math, but do you think that it appears to me that that's going to overcome the lack of accuracy? But because you need to consider salvos and all that kind of stuff, salvo time and whatnot. I'm just not certain that it's that much better than the Countermeasure Loader 4.
Oh, I see. Expected hits per second. Yeah, you could do that math. I would not attempt it live, but yeah.
But you understand the situation, you know what I'm talking about as far as stacking with other things and losing the accuracy. You're just firing more.
Yep.
So, but you may not be shooting stuff down. So, and dealing with the salvos of everything up, you're only speeding up the reload time, not your, not the time, the 0.2 seconds.
Yep.
Quote unquote required for salvos.
Yep.
Per salvo. Yeah.
All right. Next on our list of things we're not really sure if they're any good, and in fact we're pretty sure this one's not any good, is the Halo 2.
A lot of those survived, didn't they? The Halos?
Yeah, because we love the Halo 1 so much.
Oh, yeah. I think that's in the Relic Museum at this point.
Yeah. God.
Yeah. Are we gonna have Brimstone 2 next? I don't know.
Well, who said creativity's dead?
yes. Well. I mean, the only advantage I see of this weapon is the additional plus 25% penetrating damage that you're going to get to your Executioner 2. Otherwise, I don't see a lot of advantages in this turret at all. I don't understand it. I mean,
have you played with any math on it at all?
Well, I mean, look, if you split up the 6 projectiles, right? This is going to do less damage than the deflection of any ship that has a compound plate 5.
And it has a reload time of 15 and a projectile speed of 60. So projectile speed of 60 means you need to basically stop a ship to hit your portal or have it be really, really slow so this hits. And then your payoff is every 2.5 seconds, if you spread out those 6 MIRVs across 15 seconds, every 2.5 seconds you're going to be doing 360 damage. I don't get it. I mean, I don't understand. Everything else does better. That's why I said the only thing that seems to make sense is under special abilities. Otherwise, I don't understand it, because 60 projectile speed is really, 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 really slow. Yep. I mean, you need to be stopped for a while in order for this to hit, especially at 309 range. I mean, I'm assuming that a floating fortress could sail under this at max range. So I don't understand this missile at all.
Yep. Okay. Another special for Conquerors and Defenders. Lower range, more firepower. I guess maybe Onslaught rockets would use this?
Yeah, that was my thought. The Onslaught with the new siege rockets. That's the place I thought it fit. Offensively, not defensively, because I know people are using them defensively, but you're using them again for range and minimum damage. Because if you put the CT-110, I can't remember the name of them, the siege rockets, and you put them on a Hope, you get a range of 130. So, and you got a really high reload, and because it's got a reload of 1 and a salvo of 3, you potentially do some stuff on a Hope or something like that defensively, but I would not put the special on, because you're not dealing with you want to keep your range, and then damage does not matter. So I could see it on the other side if you're using the Onslaught with those new missiles offensively to hit bases, then I could potentially seeing this make sense.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Here's the promised countermeasure. This clearly goes with the Warden, and you can see it is really heavy. So any kind of ship, and then if you put that 45% reload special on, this is this is a 1,500 ton weapon easily. So you're going to need a tier 7 hull to put this on, I think. But anyway, it's got really long range, although it's got kind of a donut kind of thing here with a minimum range of 60. But it's got that you put it on a Warden and you get plus 150%. So you're actually talking 250 range, which means it's going to cover pretty much your entire base.
Yeah. I mean, the only question I have about it is the does it act like a phalanx, or does it act like a gale? Does it tag? Does it tag incoming projectiles and therefore they're not fired at again, or does it act like a gale and just keeps on firing at them until they're dead? I don't know that we know this information, because if it tags them and acts like a phalanx, my assumption, I'm not certain, because it sounded like there was like birds invading for a second. I'm sorry about that.
It's quite pleasant, actually.
Yeah, okay. But
it shot them down and thought they were missiles.
Yes, it seems like it would prevent Countermeasure from working, because this counters both missiles and mortars. And so it'd be nice if this kind of information was provided on the blueprint, so we could know if this is going to counteract what we're trying to do with our turrets, and how that works exactly. Because a lot of times it seems like they want us to figure things out. But, if nobody has it and you claim this versus another prize that might have been more useful, that gets frustrating, I think, to a lot of players.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
okay.
And I'm surprised the end of this is getting supported by laser beams. But whatever. And it's got a hefty build time if you're going to put a bunch of them on.
Well, yeah. I mean, build time is kind of scaling with weight, so they're heavy. So you only put 6 on. It's still 3 days of weapons.
Yeah.
Okay. Bounty prizes. So we see all the new stuff up to Wardens at 40K. This other new stuff we've been yapping about at 15K. And then other stuff. Tactical Focus is back, I noticed.
Yay!
Yeah. With 5 redemptions. So, yeah, that might be...
Is that 5 total?
Because I was trying to look through this. Well, it says 5 redeems. I don't know what the cap is. I guess we won't know until... I don't know. I don't have any, so maybe somebody could look at their limiteds and see if it's gotten bumped, and see if it says 8 or some other number.
Yeah.
But maybe it is 5. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to figure out what the big prize is here. That, and unless you can get them all, if you're not getting everything.
Right now, my tactical focus says number of limited built 2, total capacity 2 of 3.
Huh. So I'll have to bump it up to 5 at least. Yeah, I mean, what am I really excited about? I'm just not super excited about this stuff. Any of this new stuff, really.
Oh, besides the pink consulate, but yeah, we knew that. The Rosa Onslaught, yeah. So as long as that's still available, there's still something to get. But
so if you watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine, you know Rosa is a badass.
Okay, I don't watch Brooklyn. I'm not sure who Rosa is, but yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people have been wanting the pink skin, and it's going to be interesting as far as, because what's the total new stuff is going to be 70,000 bounty.
100,000.
Well, 70,000. Okay, for
115. Because you got
well,
two
yeah.
Halos.
I was gonna say the new stuff in the Warden, and then you got because I don't know that I'm gonna, until they explain it. I don't see any use for the Halo Missile 2.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to bust ass for any of this stuff. Maybe just get some tactical focus and, you know, be done with it. For the other stuff, by the way, just remember this Conquest Yard token is not a Conqueror token. It's to build your Conquest Yard. So don't make that mistake like someone might have last bounty.
I see. Yeah, we're gonna get into a lot more of that with the one of the current TLCs.
Yeah.
They got Conquest Yard tokens out the wazoo.
Yep. All right, are we done with this?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else special in here, but no, not really.
Okay. So the Abyssal Invasion has prize pack 1, Conquest Yard build tokens, and that KB buffer that came out a while ago slows down projectiles. Then this prize pack 2, you got some structure tokens, more Conquest Yard token, pen overlay, which we'll see in a minute. And then pack 3, you've got this DTR transformer, unstable magnetic zone, which is a new trap. We'll look at that one. And more yard build tokens. And just remember, if you kind of forget, look at the little icon. You see this looks like a yard, a building, not a ship. Ship build tokens have an icon that looks like a ship. So.
Yep.
So, and this is a skirmish campaign. So you need fangs, or I think it said fangs, hunters, or prototype seekers.
Right.
Yeah, I did the first one. The first one is an hour. It's 3 targets. The second one is an hour. It's 4 targets. I have not gone into price pack 3 at this point.
Okay.
So, but it is annoying. It is annoying, the price pack one, because anybody that's.
Oh yeah. Right, because if you have your yard built, then these tokens really don't do you any good.
Yeah, and I have the kinetic buffer, so yeah, I have to go through that just to get nothing.
Yeah. Wow, that is annoying.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kixeye.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here's this first new thing in that campaign: penetrative overlay. It's a tactical installation, gives pen resistance, and then you can also
oops, I did say surge special. That was from something else. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, it's a tactical installation, so it goes on buildings, on turrets. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah. All right. So, and then if you put it on your outpost, naval lab, or advanced lab, you get more explosive building defense than penetrative defense. So, neat, but okay. I don't know. It's just sort of weird.
No, that's going to be corrected.
Yeah, they said it was a mess up.
That's a typo. I mean, you can click once more.
Okay. So it's supposed to be
Mr.
penetrative?
Magoo.
Yeah. Mr.
Okay.
Magoo and his, I guess it's a cosmopolitan. It's a martini glass, but it's red. So it's not wine.
Yep. Once more, Kixeye QA comes through.
I'm sure they just copied that stat block and then they just put in penetrative and they forgot to put it on the next line down. You know?
Well, if somebody like actually read this stuff before throwing it out the door.
Too much work, man. Too much work.
Right. Okay, and then the new turret transformer. So it's a DTR, and Hefe very helpfully compared it to the ATR. So you get the bonus range like the ATR. You get a more of a damage reduction, but you get a defense increase instead of a defense reduction. So this is great for that min damage game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's good for your counter. Yeah, also your countermeasures and the min damage game, both of them. Yeah, it's especially when you start adding on the new armors and things of that nature, it's going to make things a lot harder to kill. Yeah, it's definitely there's no loss in same weight, same range. Everything else is a bonus. It's if you like to get base parts, and we're assuming it's not going to be longer than the max base parts you can store, it seems like a good thing to get.
Sure. I guess that's one. Today. I don't know.
It's the first one we understood. Yeah.
All right, and then the unstable magnetic zone for your portals, as demonstrated by the famously unstable Anna Nicole Smith. So I'm not super sold on this one either.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I mean, it's basically you cause. I mean, it seems to be very focused at the two current tier 7 hulls with negative 25% accuracy, which I guess would work against the missile storm cruiser because
against
nobody's
ships.
really what
against ships, not buildings.
Yeah, just ships.
Yeah, just ships. But I was going to say nobody's running antis. Because that would be another good thing. If people were running antis in their current ships, the attacking ships, that would make sense. But the splash. I mean, this is for the top part is for everything but Reaver, and then the bottom part is they're just adding in splash damage reduction 20%. Yeah, I'm not in love with this one either.
And what's the berserk thing?
Yeah, I noticed that.
So the way I read it was that your base would berserk and like everything goes into overload.
The entire base?
That's what it sounds like to me.
Wow.
But where did you read this?
I didn't. I'm assuming by reading the blueprint, that's what it sounds like it should do.
Yeah, I don't trust blueprints enough to jump to those sort of assumptions.
But yeah, I mean, I'm just making the point that their blueprints are kind of crap. They don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Yeah, the blueprints are crap. Okay. So should we move on? Charge path is back. This is the we've seen this before. You can get some charged armors and some siege tokens. And this is a co-op campaign, and it's one hit per prize pack. So if you can't do it yourself, find a friend. And remember your handy acronym for which fleets to use. It is assault, skirmish, and then siege. Thus, ASS is your acronym. To remember your fleets to use on this charge path campaign. So yeah, do it if you can, and ask a friend if you can't. Okay. Titan Rising for your mega ships. This is a new campaign, new targets compared to previous megaship campaigns. You've got some Reaver, not Reaver. Shoot, what was that? What's that ship? The sub with the low surface depth.
Oh, like the
the
Nighthawk?
no.
I never
older
built
than
any.
that.
Ghost Crawler?
No. It's the one that
The
it's the
Reaper.
one that they
I mean,
created.
the Reaper.
Reaper,
Reaper,
thank
yeah.
you.
There we go.
Yeah, so it starts out with some Reapers that kind of surface right next to you. And then the later ones, you get some more Reapers and some of the missile cruisers that you saw in the, like if you do the titanium base parts target, some of those kind of missile cruisers. And then in Pack 3, you get to some mega ships. I blasted through the first 3 pretty quick with my mega. It's got mostly like level 3 stuff on it. Pack 4, I think I hear is a bit harder. I saw a post on some of the Facebook groups from Rob that went into some detail on how you ought to set up your ship for Prize Pack 4. Having lots of Congreve rockets really helps. So we'll see how that goes.
It also seems like people are saying that that your drones are glitching, and a lot of times they'll just sit next to your ship.
Yeah, in Pack 4. So mine worked fine in the first 3 packs, but I hear that they're glitching in Pack 4. So
right.
You might want to wait to do that last one, see if Kixeye fixes their bug that they introduced this week. Another one for the list. But anyway, so you get some of this older stuff, drone bridge, missile strike drone, some generic build or upgrade tokens. I think previous tokens we've seen for megas have been a lot more specialized, so this is kind of cool. And then Pack 4, you get this rocket strike drone, which is new, and somebody didn't include the blueprint, but oh well.
I'm anti-mega, but yeah, okay.
You're anti-mega, but I hear you did this one.
Yeah, I did it, but I'm not, I don't think it's worth talking about, but yeah.
All right, well.
If you were lucky, I put this slide together.
Yeah, okay. I was looking for a... Oh, wait, here we go. Let's see. No, they don't show it. Oh, wait, here they are. Oh, my God. So, Rocket Strike Drone, it's... yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. It's got a whole bunch of the stuff. Huge pass-through numbers.
Yeah, that's huge for a drone.
Or wait, no, that's the module, not the drone. This is the drone. Pass-throughs of... Yeah, a lot lower pass-throughs for the deflections.
Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like the other drones, I was putting the new armor on, but then you get 360 pass-through, and they only have health of like 720, so 2 hits and they're gone, but whatever.
Well, and these don't these go after enemy ships first? They ignore the mega and they go after...
Drones in general do that. I don't know if the rocket ones behave different. The missile ones do. Go after ships first.
Yeah, you're right, they do.
Okay.
I just remember reading that on there and I was like, oh, okay, going after ships. But yeah, you're right, the other ones do too.
Yeah. All right, and then we've got Ticket of the Week. Hosh.
I think everybody should read this. Yeah. I mean, Host has had a little bit more back and forth with them, and they didn't provide any more answers, but it's like their ultimate answer at the end is just, can we use the word draconian?
There's more than this?
There's more than this, but I didn't put it in there because it's it's the same thing. They're just not responding to this question. They're just saying, yeah, we can ban you at any time. So they never answered the question at all. It's I mean, Host, do you think they answered your question any better after this response by Magnum?
Nope.
No, I mean, I read through them. I just thought it was like going through for a second slide was useless because they're sticking to this line of, yeah, we can just ban you for whatever. And it's
I mean, this feels like one of those things that's like maybe, well, if you do this, for those that don't like reading, or if this is coming up really small on your YouTubes, Holsh is asking if one alt helps another, and I guess probably you're asking for the Charge Path campaign, I'm thinking.
I was just asking in general for any resource.
Yeah, okay. So if one alt helps somebody's own alt, or somebody helps their own alt or whatever, is that bannable under the terms of service? And the answer comes back, well, their terms of service say they can ban for whatever they want arbitrarily. So
as per our terms of service, we can terminate an account for any reason in our discretion. So
and it gives them the out. I kind of get it that they can ban an account and they don't have to explain it to you. They can ban you if they feel like it, and they're not complete idiots. They're not going to ban people for no reason. But I think Holsh asked a reasonable question here, which is, am I allowed to do this or not? Because the terms of service do talk about alts and say you can have them as long as they're on different platforms.
Do they actually say that?
Yeah, that does say that.
You can't have multiple accounts on one platform.
Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But then, is there anything about helping?
No.
Anything else that restricts how you can use those alts?
No, because I went and read through all the little things that they can ban you for, and that was never stated anywhere. So.
I'm aggressed, but yeah, no, I think they should have given them a better answer than that we can ban you for anything. Yeah, no, I agree with you.
And the second reply, because I asked after that first one, and they said, we will ban the account if we find that it is required to take the action in these cases. Let us know if you need anything else. And that's the final response I got. So, which makes it.
So were they thinking that you were maybe concerned about another player doing this and that you wanted to report them or something, and maybe they weren't reading your question properly? You know what I'm saying? Maybe they were curious. Maybe they thought you were curious if you reported someone that you saw doing this, if they would get banned, and maybe that's why they were answering the way they were. Or maybe they were just being obtuse to be obtuse. I don't know.
Well, no, because in my second question, I specifically stated if I could help my alt, and the response was still iffy, on the fence.
I mean, they basically said, "We know this is Holsh, so therefore we're going to give you this reply.
We're going to troll you."
Is there any possibility of that? Yeah. I think it's part of it. I don't think that's the whole thing. I just think that because the whole helping alt thing is basically, it's sort of a rumor, right? Because I remember they were going back and forth at times as far as banning people that were glitch repairing. Back when glitch repairing was a part of the game. That at certain times they were banning those players and then they were reinstating them. And I think it fits in that category, because how are you actually going to have somebody have enough proof that that's what you're doing? Unless somebody's videotaping your day, it just seems like it's a weird little nebulous thing. I'm just disappointed by their response that we can ban you for anything, so do whatever, or don't do anything. I just feel scared. it's just a weird response.
Until they banned my first ult for no reason.
No, okay. What was the name of that ult?
Guacamole and chips.
Okay, there we go. Guacamole and chips got banned for no good reason.
You have tomatoes in that guacamole? I'd ban guacamole with tomatoes.
No tomatoes. I don't like guac, so said.
Hey, if we're done with this, I got a favor to ask. Can we go back to slide 15 with the portal trap?
Why do you want to go back to this slide?
Because I was looking at it some more. I was reading it some more, and it says field of effect hostile affect ships range of 115, and then under favored faction Reaver berserk duration 25 seconds. So I'm thinking anything in that 115 range that you place right around that portal is going to berserk.
What?
Is that what you said around it?
I don't know. Any ship in that range? Any of your ships?
No idea. I'm assuming
It
so.
doesn't even-
Ships, turrets.
It doesn't say it's a friendly field. It just says berserk. Maybe it's the weapons on this portal.
Yeah, and that's true too, because it does say hostile. So
it's not an aura. It's just
Yes.
whatever two weapons are on it. And then, again, it's the min damage game, right? Berserk would be, a triple reload and stuff like that?
Well, they're
And
both. Yeah, that's the weird part. They both say hostile.
But these blueprints are terrible.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't. Who tests this stuff? I mean, we should be able to read them and fucking understand them. I mean, I mean, it's not
Hi,
too
guys.
much of a request.
Hey, Ren.
Hey, Ren, how you doing?
Hey, I just jumped in because of that berserk discussion.
Okay.
If
Do you
I
have an
can add my
explanation?
2 cents.
Okay, go ahead.
It's just an aura that if you're Reaver, it turns on for 25 seconds and off for 5 seconds, the cooldown period.
Mhm.
It's not associated with any damage taken in this case, because usually berserk is associated, you take that much damage and it berserks, right?
But what berserks? Your guard fleet?
It just 3 hostile effects. So the base aura takes 50% of your splash range away, right?
Oh,
so the second aura will turn on top of that and take 50% more of what's left.
But only 25 seconds every 30.
Exactly. So let's say your splash is 100 with all the specials, okay?
Got it.
When you walk your ship, your onslaught in the base aura, now from 100 splash, whatever you're shooting now has only 50 left. If you're in that aura during the 25 seconds is berserking, then now you're not only at 50, you're going to be at 25 because you're losing another 50%. And not only that, you're having a splash damage reduction. So out of that reduced splash zone, you're still losing damage that you would be doing otherwise. So it makes your splash-based stuff really weak. In this case, the onslaught, because sloths will never walk into that aura.
I love the way that's explained on the blueprint.
Right? Super clear.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Ren.
Yes, thank you, Ren.
No problem. And I might be wrong because I just made that shit up.
Yeah, there we go. I was waiting for that part. I was waiting for that. Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah.
All right. Are we done?
Well,
are we done?
I'm interested. I'm interested in who got yelled at for the picture of Anna Nicole Smith.
Who got yelled at?
You didn't hear that?
Oh,
someone was getting yelled at for the picture on their computer screen.
Oh, okay. Well, she's a little bit unstable, a little bit magnetic, and, we can figure out what the zone is. So, I'm just, it's all good. So, whatever. Well, I guess we can go to the after show.
since we got a bunch
And,
of random joiners anyway. Hi, welcome, random joiners.
Yes. Well, yes. I'm not sure what randoms mean.
Random
but yeah.
joiners.
Yes.
Actually,
Yeah.
we know pretty well, I think.
Yes. Yeah. The people we know. I mean, actually, if any would be besides Ren, because Ren already, Ren's able to talk on this, but Ed or Mike, do you have anything to say before
what
we
Ren
go
said, I
to the
was
after
going to
show?
say it before he got there. You know that?
Okay. No, I was just saying, as far as if there's anything,
No.
anybody that joined the show wants to add before we go to
on the TLCs, the Abyss one, the skirmish one. There's two targets we've never seen before, and they're the last two.
Do you have pictures of them,
Two
by
that
chance?
I've never seen before.
which TLC?
The skirmish
Abyssal,
one.
whatever, right?
The skirmish one, yeah. The encounter
Abyssal
4 and
Invasion.
5, I think it is. And
Well,
the last two prize packs.
I'm recording prize pack 2 now.
I did record them, but I'm not a pro at that. But they're not hard. Just gotta outrun the goblin sharks.
They're very much nerfed.
Yes, they're not hard.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I mean, because I think a lot of people have been getting, especially with the skirmish targets, getting a little bit fatigued by hitting the same target over and over again.
Yep.
And they don't want to hit a target that's going to be way overpowered. So I haven't seen them, but it sounds like a good idea to provide variety without being overpowered at the same time. So it sounds cool. I mean, I haven't got to that point, but it sounds like a good idea.
Now, I tried driving 4 hunters, like the Apex, 3 hunters, and that prototype seeker. Oh my god, that's such a freaking mess. I gave up after 1 battle.
Yeah, I believe that.
I just stuck with the thing.
Because the Tide Seeker, at first, it's lower than the hunters with hydraulic resistors. But then it starts filling up that blue bar, it turns yellow, and it starts jumping ahead of everyone else. So you can never keep the fleet together.
So what do you think about it as the main prize for people that had everything last raid? It seems like a burden more than anything else.
Structure build tokens, I think,
No, I'm talking about last raid, the fact that you're talking about the prototype seeker, correct?
Oh, yeah.
It feels more like a burden than a gift.
Maybe if you built a whole fleet of them, but then who wants to do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I mean,
Then it's a burden. That's what I'm saying. It's a burden at that point if you have to build a whole fleet of them.
Yeah.
And this is your 3rd skirmish fleet.
It's something to be completely ignored unless you have absolutely nothing else to build.
Yep.
All right. Should we go to the after show and we'll discuss this more thoroughly? Like, what is the worst raid prize?
Well, we haven't shut down the feed yet.
So I will. I'll post for one last time in case anybody else would like to join, because I don't think we're almost full, but not completely full. And we will proceed to the after show. So thanks everybody, and see you on Friday, where we hope again to have a wall building contest. Everybody will enjoy thoroughly.
Who won last week?
Now, I got a lot of participants because I guess wall building is not that entertaining.
Unless you're